Welcome back, Rum fam. I thought I would kick off May 2022 in a slightly new direction for this channel. We're about 10 months in maybe to this kind of, at least sort of 9 months into this rum journey now, proper out and out rum journey. And up until now, I've kind of focused on trying to educate the different styles of rums, the different techniques, different categories. But now I kind of think it's time we got into reviewing out and out rums. I've been doing quite a bit of this already on my live shows, my Sunday night live shows with discussion and that. But I think there's so many rums out there and there's so many questions. What do I think of this rum? What do I think of that rum? That it's only right that I start proper bringing back the reviews. Remember, I did used to do spiced rum reviews 2019, sort of 2018, 2019. So I'm going to be carrying on from there. Remember, my whole ethos for this channel is all rums in all shapes, all sizes, whether coconut rums, spiced rums, proper out and out rums, flavoured rums, doesn't matter. The emphasis will primarily be on proper out and out rums, but there will be a few sort of spiced rums and all that sneaking in from time to time. So proper out and out rums, but I want to keep it under £50 in the UK, so you can convert that wherever you are in the world, but basically under £50 in the UK. I don't want to get into expensive rums, don't want to get into like £100 rums, £70, £80 rums. Remember, I'm all about trying to help you guys on your rum journey. So under £50, but there's another caveat as well here, because this has come up quite recently. I always want to stick to rums that are permanently available. I don't want to get into limited release runs because for me, it's kind of pointless. I would much rather, at this point in my rum journey, I much rather taste a rum that I really like and know that I can get a second bottle of it. I don't want to get to the end of it and be really gutted that I'll never be able to get it again. So I'm not really focusing on limited releases at the moment. We are going for proper out and out rums. Now, to start off with, kick off, this is English Harbour from Antigua Rum. This is a nostalgia rum for me. I haven't had it since 2000. I've already done the tasting, but it's the first time I've kind of had it in 10, 11, 12 years or so at the very least. So I really enjoyed going back to looking at this. Now, how this is going to work and how these reviews are going to work going forward, I've already done the tasting. I'm using the framework of the Rum X app, which is phenomenal. You should go and download that, especially in Europe. We'll be coming, as far as I'm aware, to the US and Canada and all that very soon. But if you're in Europe, download it and get involved. It's brilliant. You can kind of get involved in the community. You can rate your own stuff. But it's really helping to educate my palate. Okay, the different sort of tasting notes. I'm looking for inspiration, what other people have sort of picked up as well. Some I agree with, some I don't agree with. So all the time I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to give you the sort of framework, what I taste, the prices and how this works. And I've got a few cocktails there, mixed serves, that I just want to kind of guide you to sort of see how this rum is suited. So let's kind of quickly take you through to deep dive. So I've got the notes written down here so I can make this as streamlined as possible. Because I don't want to do too much editing, I just want to keep this as real as possible. So where does this fit in the grand scheme of things? So if you've got Smuggler's Cove, I call this sort of category an arrow, because category 4, sort of pre-category 4, because in Smuggler's Cove, category 4 is, they call it aged column still rums. Now from there, most of the rums they've got listed are like 7, 8, 10-year-old rums in that category. There's nothing really kind of pre that. And 3, I forget what 3 is now. 3 is blended. So we can't go like less than 4. But it is a 5-year-old column still rum, essentially. That's what we're going to kind of go for from Antigua. So that's kind of where the category sits in there. Price point will always be Master of Malt in the UK. £31.45p. That's at May 2022. So just about just over £31, which is pretty decent in colour. Now, let's get on to the tasting where we go from this. In the Rum X app, we start off with the colour. I've called this tawny. I think this is very close to being tawny on the app, so I've called it tawny. What do I smell? So the tasting note, the sort of nosing notes that I got off this, I've noted down a fruity, mixed dried fruit and tropical fruit. I get both. I get lots of pineapple in there, but I also get lots of sort of raisin and sultana. They are the big notes up top for me. I've put vanilla, and I've put honey, but then I kind of put a little dash, because that honey for me kind of turns into sherry. And I don't know too much about all the aging on this, whether it has been sort of sherry cask age, I don't know. But I kind of get that little hint of, it starts for honey for me, but quickly kind of goes into sherry. There is a slight nuttiness to it. There is a touch of wood to it as well on the nose. And I noticed on the app, some people have put praline. It's not something I got straight away, but as soon as I read it and had another nose, I completely get what they mean. It's not something I would pick up, but I totally and utterly get what they mean. So then we come on to the scores. So this is trying to give you a rough idea. These are out of 5, okay, how I rate them out of 5. So on a sweetness level, that to me smells it's going to be quite sweet. So I've scored it a 4 out of 5. Remember, this is relating to rum, not spiced rum. So a 4 out of 5 in real rum is going to be completely different for me to 4 out of 5 on a spiced rum. We know spiced rums are naturally sweeter. So I've given this a 4. Fruit, I've given it a 3 out of 5. And you'll see as the other scores come down, so woody oakiness, I've given it a 2. Roasted a 2. Floral 3. Spices 1 out of 5. And a rounded 3 out of 5. So for me, the emphasis is more on the fruity, sweeter side of things and the floral side of things than it is kind of the woody oakiness on there and the spice. I don't get too much spice off that at all. So very fruit forward for me in that sense. Coming on to the tasting, this is really bizarre because this is how I really remember it. For me, it goes completely opposite to how it smells. Just to kind of give you that, the sweetness, I've kind of gone 3 on this. It's not as sweet as what you kind of make, what you think it's going to come up. It has got a lovely sweetness to it, but it's because of the flavours that you get coming out. So let's dive into the flavours. Caramel, vanilla, dried fruit, but the tropical fruit completely disappears for me. I don't get any kind of tropical fruit on that, on the taste, but very much dried fruit. A little bit of wood and spice. And the interesting thing I picked up, sort of on the finish a little bit, or getting towards the finish, is a slight hint of coffee. I get a very sort of subtle hint of coffee in there. But let's give you the scores, the runs down out of 5s, remember. So sweetness, I've given it a 3. Fruit, I've given it a 3. Oak, a woody oakiness, I've given it a 2. Roasted notes, I've given it a 2 out of 5. Floral, 1. The floralness completely disappears on the taste. It's much more woody, oaky than it is floral vibes in there. This little subtle hint of spice does come out now on the taste. And rounded, I've given it a 2. So spice is 2 and rounded kind of 2. The finish for me is actually medium to long. I wouldn't say it's exceptionally long, but it's definitely longer than a medium finish. Absolutely delicious. Scores, what have I given it? I've given it 85 out of 100. And to relate that to the Rum X, that fits in very, very good. I won't read you them all out, but 70 to 79 is good. 80 to 89 is very good. 90 to 99 is excellent. And then 100 is perfect. So for me, it sits right in the middle of being very good. This for me is a belter of a lovely kind of fruity, rich, kind of just enjoyable rum. But you are going to see other ways of how to drink this in a second, which you'll come on to. Comparable rums, what does it remind me of? There isn't, I'll be brutally honest, I really struggled to come up with other rums that I think taste similar to this. The only one I can touch on, and it's not a bottle I've got here, but I have had it as a little sample bottle recently, is Dawley's XO. It's the only one I can kind of, I'm not getting any Chairmans, I'm not getting Dawley's, I'm not getting any Plantation. I'm certainly not getting Jamaica vibes off it at all. I'm definitely not getting Angostura vibes off it at all. There's nothing here I can really relate to. It's kind of a unique rum in that sense. So basically what I'm getting at, I don't think there's another comparable rum where you could look at that and go, I won't buy that again. I will have, you know, I'll have this instead because I've got that. I think it is very different enough to warrant having it in there. But, so, as I said, 85 out of 100. Just before we get into the summing up, the drinks. What have I got to mix? Because I know you guys will sort of vary your drinks as well. Couple here. We start off with the Rum and Coke. It's a very, very good Rum and Coke. I would quite happily drink that as a Rum and Coke. Very, very nice. But for me, actually, I do prefer it, rum and ginger. This is exceptionally well suited to. This is just Canada Dry ginger ale. This is so suited to ginger. Really, really like that. And then the 3 cocktails I've got here, this is going to remain a constant for all these tasting videos. So we've got kind of like a comparing cross section of all the rums, like a cross, what, I don't know what the word is, a control, if you like. We've got a daiquiri, a rum fashioned, and a fruity punch. The fruity punch is lime, honey, strawberry, rum, bitters, passion fruit juice. So it's very fruit forward on there. The daiquiri, it's okay. It's okay. For me, it's not a daiquiri rum. And that's not getting onto the moody daiquiris that we talk about for quite often. I just don't think that's suited as a daiquiri rum. However, the rum fashioned, a little tiny touch of sugar, Angostura bitters in there. It is so more suited to a rum fashioned than it is a daiquiri for me. And the fruity punch, yes, it's just delicious. This. The rum really kind of, the fruitiness of the rum really complements the fruitiness of the drink. Remember, lime, honey, strawberry, rum, passion fruit juice, bitters, Angostura bitters. So my standouts are probably the ginger and the rum fashioned. They're my standouts. I would then put the fruity punch and the rum and coke sort of afterwards. The daiquiri in last place, but I do believe you would probably have a lot more fun sipping this neat as it is. This doesn't need to be mixed. Let's just give you another close up on that so you can kind of see. I really don't think that needs to be mixed at all. And then, so just to sum up, is it value for money? What was it, £31? I think, knowing how much sort of other rums are, yes, it's a little bit more expensive than your Appleton 8-year-old. It's a little bit more expensive than your Dawleys and things like that. Kind of on par with some of the Chairmans, like the sort of more aged and the Angosturas. 31, I think that is a great value for money. Would I replace that once the bottle is empty? Yes, 100% yes. That is a permanent stock now in my collection. I really like that. So if you've had English Harbour before, let me know what you think. If you're going to add it to your collection, again, let me know what you think. I'll be interested to see other people's tasting notes. I come back to it. I've just remembered something off here. A couple of people, where is it? So, no, it's on the next one. Ignore me, it's on the next one. I'm doing 2 in this session. So yeah, that has been English Harbour 5-year-old. I'm so glad. I'm gutted it's taken me, what, 10, 12 years to kind of revisit this again. But that is an absolute stunner.